rapid news today regarding their road trip that's coming up and who could be available. I did want to get into the college football playoff tonight. We'll do that as, a lot of people have an opinion about it. So I'll give you mine. And whatever else you want. We have in or out later on tonight. We got the musings. We will hear from Doug Kyed, who's been breaking news all day long regarding the Patriots. We'll get his thoughts. And the winter meetings for the Red Sox underway right now. And I believe we'll talk to Chris Cotillo of Mass Live, who sources on the ground. So we got baseball. We got it all on the table tonight. We got a full show. We'll have some fun, of course, as you know. But our opening take, presented by Super Service Today. Winter's coming. Don't get caught in the cold. Super Service Today delivers New England's most complete home heating system health and safety check. Catching problems before they catch you. Stay safe, stay warm. Book now at superservicetoday.com. Full transparency, I felt like the Patriots had one of their worst weeks and they didn't even play. And I think every week things have been turning up Patriots, right? Teams have been losing. They move up. They beat the teams. They move up. So the Patriots, despite losing to the Raiders, woof, and the loss to the Steelers, right now find themselves as the number 2 seed in the AFC. The more I look at it, when it comes to the Broncos and some of these other teams, the Patriots have the easiest schedule. But I'm not looking past Buffalo this weekend. If the season ended today, right? If the season ended today, and I know that some people just can't do that. They can't just look at it and just use a actually hypothetical. If they lose today, or if the season ended today, they would take on the Texans in the first round. How does that make you feel? I want you to think about that for a minute. Patriots miss out on the top seed. They're the 2nd seed, and they get the Texans. How do you feel about that matchup? To me, that's one of the teams I would like to avoid. The other team that I would like to avoid is the Buffalo Bills. And Denver is something I think that most Patriots fans would want the Patriots to avoid. But just, I want you to think about it. If it ended today, it's the Texans in the first round. And we'll look at the standings and how things can shake up, because every week it's going to change. But the Patriots, according to The Athletic, they come out of their bye with a 51% chance at a first-round bye. That's a pretty good percentage right there. They already got the 99% chance to make the playoffs. They have a hat and T-shirt game this weekend against Buffalo. And I want to break down the Buffalo game a ton this week. We'll do that. But the Broncos are the top seed. The Texans are looming. Think of it like this. The Chiefs may be out. Lamar Jackson may be out. You're going to avoid those 2 quarterbacks on a potential playoff run? Win. So where I think that they lost this weekend was they dropped to 2. And the Texans could be the team that they play. Now, there's a lot there, right? The Texans could beat the Jaguars. They could move up. The old tomato can game against the Jaguars would be spectacular if they didn't get the number 1 seed. But I just feel like not being the top seed, potentially facing the Texans, and now you have the Buffalo Bills this weekend who maybe figured it out because Joe Burrow has been on a mission. Joe Burrow, since returning, was making 0 mistakes, and he made back-to-back ones that truly hurt them and cost them the game. But did the Buffalo Bills come alive? Did their defense wake up? Did Josh Allen get his running game going, scoring a touchdown yesterday? I'm concerned this weekend. And I'll give you the betting line coming up in a little bit, and there are some players coming back to practice this week, which is good. But I just don't think things turned up Patriots this weekend. And it's the first time in a while I feel that way. But the Patriots are looking at this game like it's a championship game. And I liked hearing that from Mike Vrabel today. They are ready for this one. They're preparing for it like it's a championship. But you know what it is? I know the Chiefs lost yesterday, and I want to get into them at some point. But the Buffalo Bills have won 5 AFC East in a row. And the Patriots have a chance now to knock them off their streak of going for 6 in a row. And we always talk about these streaks, right? What's important, who had the best one, etc. This could be the end of the Buffalo Bills, their coach, and whatever they do going forward. And I just brought up the fact that maybe no Mahomes, no Lamar. That benefits the Patriots? How about the Buffalo Bills? Could Josh Allen actually get into the playoffs, beat Joe Burrow, not have to face Mahomes or Lamar, and still not get there? Like, all that is on the table, and it's all this week. This game's important. It matters. It matters big time. And I know the Patriots have had some injuries. They've been worse against the run, but for the most part, they've been one of the best run stoppers in all the league. But it's desperation time for the Buffalo Bills. I'm really curious how the Patriots bounce back from this one off a bye, and I want to give you this number. Mike Vrabel in his career off a bye is 6-0. He has never lost off the bye. And he's already talking about this being a championship game this weekend. I think the Bills are getting going. I think they figured it out a little bit defensively in last week's game. I think they're gaining momentum because they have really put it together in second halves. Now they have to come to New England and win to keep things alive. And potentially knowing Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes could be out of the playoffs. This is a huge game for Josh Allen. And it could be an even bigger game for the New England Patriots, knocking the Bills out as AFC East champions that they've done 5 years in a row, winning the AFC East, claiming it, and having the AFC go through New England. I'll tell you who's back at practice coming up in just a bit, and the betting line is out. I want to explain this one to you. But the Patriots are underdogs heading into Sunday's game versus Buffalo. But I'll ask you guys this, just to throw it out there. How important is this number 1 seed to you? I think it's extremely important, but at the same time, there are some teams I think you want to avoid. One of them is the Texans. You win this weekend. Yeah, hat and T-shirt. On the road, the number 1 seed. Imagine playing Buffalo for a third time in the playoffs. There is truly a lot on the line this weekend. But as far as them having the bye, falling into second place with potential matchup with the Texans, not ideal whatsoever. And I should probably bring this up. I had 2 bets this year I gave out on the show. I had the Patriots under 8.5 wins, loss. But I also had the Kansas City Chiefs not making the playoffs. It's looking more and more like that will happen. And I heard Felger and Maz talking about this today, so great minds think alike. I already threw it in our rundown, but you can now end the 9-year run that the Chiefs had of winning the AFC West. So if you want to look at it, did the Patriots win this weekend? Or the Tom Brady legacy versus the Chiefs and Mahomes? The Patriots were winners. They've won 11 straight during their time. The Chiefs stops at 9. And I saw them do their 8 years matchup, who had it better. To me, it was the Patriots. Not for a homer bias or any of that. Tom Brady missed an entire season. One of those seasons, they went 16-0 in the regular season. So although it might be close, don't forget that. Tom Brady missed an entire season. And yeah, they went undefeated. Does that count? I don't know. But do we put an end to the Chiefs versus Patriots talk? I don't know. Last night, Patrick Mahomes, 3 interceptions, not good. And to be quite frank with you, he's been an average quarterback for a long time. I'm dating back to last season. Yeah, phenomenal ability. But numbers-wise, he's got to be better than that. And I know that you could look at their Travis Kelce or all these other guys. Can you take some accountability and put it on Patrick Mahomes? Because he could have been better too. And the great Andy Reid. Going for it on fourth down in your own territory. Remember when that happened to you against the Texans? And what happened to them? Just the whole thing fell apart last night, and it gave me a little bit of a smile. Maybe I'm just petty because I'm sick of the conversation. Both teams are great. Tom Brady was great. Missed an entire season. And if we're comparing it, what could have Brady done in that one season that he missed? It might be close, but to me, it was better at Patriots. And I know you can give me the numbers and Mahomes did this versus that, blah, blah, blah. Can Mahomes turn his career around? Meaning maybe get in some better shape. Things to that degree because Brady did it. And I think that's going to be the long-term story of those two as we continue that conversation. So your thoughts on the Patriots this week versus the Bills. I wanted to break that down for you, get the betting line coming up in a bit, tell you who's back at practice today as well. And your calls at 617-779-0985. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening.
15? Are you kidding me?
Josh Allen calls game there. Breaks away from the pass rush. Able to escape up the field. He's now your leading rusher on the game for the Bills. 7 carries for 81 yards, and that one was huge. On 3rd and 15, you assume Bills are going to have to punt this one away, give the Bengals the football with a shot for the win. Instead, Bills are going to put knee on this one.
Just say, I don't know. Maybe the Bills haven't been good this year. Maybe Josh Allen hasn't played to an MVP level. I don't know. I just you wanted me. You asked a question? I'm just answering it, sir. There on the Bills broadcast, there radio network guy. He just hasn't been. We'll do the MVP stuff coming up in a bit, but I'm trying to put this into light for you Patriots fans that this is a big game this weekend, clearly, right? Like, it's not the game that's flexed. The Patriots game next week against the Ravens got flexed to 8 p.m. I'm not happy about that. But we'll worry about that next week. This week it's Patriots-Bills. It's for the championship. It is. But if I'm looking at it long-term here, this game means more to the Bills than it does the Patriots. And I'm sure we can have a healthy debate if you'd like. Feel free to call in. Who is this game more important for, Patriots or Bills? To me, it's the Bills. But your thoughts at 617-779-0985. I don't know how many times I got to keep saying this, is that the Buffalo Bills this year have an opportunity to get into the playoffs and not face Burrow, not face Mahomes, and not face Lamar Jackson. If it ended today, that's the situation. What stands in front of them? Bo Nix. Drake May, who beat him this year on the road. I'll give you that. Justin Herbert, Herbie Hancock with his hand. C.J. Stroud. Who's the Colts quarterback now? Riley Leonard from Notre Dame. That's the best thing that's happened to Notre Dame all weekend. But look at those quarterbacks. This game should be more important for Buffalo than it is New England. Now, you could make the case, well, Joe, the Patriots need to, they need to continue to win so they get the top seed. Blah. The Patriots can lose this weekend and still get the top seed. This game this weekend is more important to the Buffalo Bills than the Patriots. They win it 3 in a row. They take control now of where they can end up in the playoffs. They could finish out strong. I think their defense is getting better. And we just played you that run there on that first down. But the run earlier, then he rushed for a touchdown. Like, Josh Allen has struggled to get into the end zone. Also, I thought Sean McDermott yesterday laid it all on the table. I don't love Sean McDermott by any means. But I think he laid it all out on the table yesterday. Now, I wanted to bring up the betting line to everybody. The Patriots tomorrow, on Sunday, are a 1.5-point underdog. If I told you the look-ahead line when the season started, the Buffalo Bills were minus 8.5. So that has now gone down 7 points from the opening line. And they're still favored. So if you say, I can't believe that the Patriots are underdogs at home. The opening line was 8.5. That's what the odds makers thought. And I'll give you one more thing, because I've already had a couple of texts come in from me, not even on the air, off the air. This is great. I just had Dennis Knudsen text me. How is he not your MVP? What a bunch of garbage. Thanks, Dennis. You're listening. We sound great. Clear as day. Thank you. And your kid helped me out big time last week at Sylvan Street Grill as he devoured a great chocolate cake with ice cream, and you should ask him about it. It was good. Thumbs up from Street Team Joe back there. I got another one here. Mike Vrabel being 6-0, not looking any deeper than the numbers alone. Those numbers start to work against him. Here we go now. People are now starting to, the Bills. I didn't see Skaz back there give me the scared side like he normally does. I do somewhat feel, though, the Bills should be favored this week. I get it. Vrabel 6-0 off the bye. That's a real thing. That's real. And if you look at it, Buffalo has really played some really good teams. And if you get into it, the Bengals were good last week. They were. And they've been a much better team than anything we've thought all year long. Way better. This game is more important for Buffalo people. Pats can lose. They can play on Sunday Night Football against the Ravens next week. Knock them out. That'd be great. But again, can they stop the run? Like, if we're actually just going to bring it to, instead of the look-aheads and this, and that, can the Patriots stop the run against Buffalo? Since Milton Williams has been out, yeah, they gave up 100 yards in their last game. I think Buffalo has tight ends that can do some things. Can the Patriots stop those tight ends? They had 3 tight ends yesterday with huge involvement in the game. Keon Coleman's starting to come around again. I think there's more questions regarding the Patriots this week than it is Buffalo. But the Pats are getting some players back. Looks like Jared Wilson back at practice this week. Tonga back out there. That will help the running game, or the defensive running game, no doubt. Brendan Schooler back. Not sure they really need him. But whatever. They're all back. I believe Will Campbell was seen in the locker room today. We'll ask Doug Kyed about that coming up in just a little bit. And also, I made my Patriots versus Chiefs take. And Maz already texted me, add the 9th season then for Brady. You know what? Maybe I will. But I will tell you. The Chiefs, they did it 9 times in a row, winning the AFC West. Patriots won the AFC 11. I'll just leave it at that. 617-779-0985. We got Patriots on the table. I did want to get into just some things happening with the Celtics as they've been hot. Patriots have been hot, no doubt about it. Well, they've won 10 in a row now. Well, the Celtics are also hot. I want to get them, get involved in that one as well. We'll get Skaz's thoughts as we're here until 10 o'clock tonight. We got a full show. Where is everybody? 617-779-0985. I'll read our chat because I can see people already in there. We're loaded on YouTube tonight. Thank you for everybody joining us here. Just go to youtube.com. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub. There are a couple of things regarding the Bills-Patriots games that I do want to just bring up. And one of them is the road versus home games for Buffalo. This is another reason why I think it's a huge game for the Bills this week. They need to establish winning games on the road. The Patriots have been winning games at home, something that they used to struggle with. This is going to be a great game. This could be the game of the year. We get into more of that coming up on the other side. I'm Joe Murray. Look at your Sports Hub headlines right now.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Patriots prepare for the Bills this Sunday. Bills, of course, off a win yesterday over the Bengals. Pats off a bye, and well, they saw Jared Wilson, Kyrie's Tonga, and Brendan Schooler back at practice today. Also, the Patriots-Ravens game next week has been flexed. ones and twos. That's real old. He probably doesn't even know what you mean by that. You know. Anyways, guys, I have given takes. I've been.
You've gotten numerous coworkers to respond, Joe, in the first 30 minutes.
I know. Hey, you know what? I'm glad that the coworkers are listening to the show. Thank you. And thank you for making us number one last month, because we could really use it. So thank you. All right, Skaz, you scared this weekend? Okay, let me phrase it to you the way I was yelling by myself about. Who this game this weekend, who's it more important to, the Bills or the Patriots?
It's more important to the Bills, no question. Any
other commentary on that?
I mean, they're fighting for their, kind of playoff lives at this point. I know the win this weekend certainly is a step in the right direction, but this is Josh Allen. This is their window. The Patriots weren't supposed to be here. I mean, we're two guys, Joe, who 8 wins we would have been doing, cartwheels for 8 wins, and now they're already at 11, like first place in the AFC. Daniel Jones is out. Who knows? Bo Nix, I'm certainly not the biggest believer in. Like the road is open for the Patriots. I don't want to say that, it's all gravy from here, because I do think when you win 11 games, expectations start to set in, and the Patriots are worthy of those expectations. They've proven that they're a good football team, that it's not a fluke, that they deserve to be in this position. So I think as a fan, it's only right to have expectations that they, get in the playoffs, win a playoff game. But for Buffalo, and Sean McDermott, I think especially, this is a very important game. I think if the Bills flounder down the stretch here, Sean McDermott's done. His time in Buffalo is over. Who knows what, the older parts of that roster look like. I think this is a very, very pivotal game, not just for, the Bills this year, but maybe, going forward as well, because it's been 5 years of us talking about the Bills window, and now with Drake May, coming along, that window's getting shorter. CJ Stroud and that Texans team is starting to play well. Who knows? There's teams in the AFC that are starting to rise, and Joe Burrow, another guy whose window is getting shorter. Like, I think it's a much bigger game for the Buffalo Bills than it is the Patriots.
And let's not forget that Josh Allen's bullies have been Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like they're all going to be there. Right, as of right now?
No, there's a chance Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow, all 3 of them, are out of the playoffs.
I bet you Josh Allen's thinking that today. Like, the pressure's on him. What about them being underdogs in the spot, the Patriots? What do you like? What do you think of the line there?
I think it's a very good line.
Me too.
I think it's a line that certainly entices people in this area that line is designed to do one thing, as all lines are, and that is to get people to wager on the game.
Money on both sides, baby.
Exactly. And that's why I think it's such a good line. Mike Vrabel, as you mentioned, 6-0 coming out of the bye. Obviously, none of those with the Patriots, but that's certainly a track record that I'm looking at as a storyline heading into this weekend. And, we're going to find out, what does Drake May look like? Last year. What does Drake May really look like? He's QB1 coming out of a bye, legit expectations, pivotal, game of the year pretty much, hat and T-shirt game. Like, there's a lot on the line for the Patriots in this game, but I think the game is more important for Buffalo.
Great. And should I even ask you about the Chiefs versus Patriots, or do you care about any of that?
No, I don't. I mean, I'm not really into the...
They're both good?
Who, Patrick Mahomes?
No, I mean, saying the Patriots' time was good there first. Today they did a bit about...
Quite a bit of Mahomes and Brady talk today.
Can I tell you, though? That was my opening take today. They stole it from me. Because we're on at night, so I couldn't be the first to do that today. Did you hear it anywhere else? I honestly would.
I heard some of it today. Okay. Yeah, national media doing a little bit of it.
I was up early this morning, and then I was sleeping the rest of the day, so I didn't really engage in a lot of conversation.
But for me, I think it's almost... I think you're almost doing Patrick Mahomes a favor doing that conversation today. Maybe a tad strong, but I think you could have done the conversation yesterday morning. because Tom Brady at no point in his career was ever 6-6 fighting for his playoff seed as a wild card.
Ever.
Going into a Sunday night game.
He was always competing for a playoff spot. Even the year they didn't make it, it took a couple of things why they didn't make it.
Against the Houston freaking Texans.
Yeah.
So you woke up yesterday morning, I think that conversation was, I don't want to say over, but you could have done it yesterday, because at no point in Tom Brady's career, especially not in his peak with Bill Belichick, and Patrick Mahomes is with Andy Reid, who some people have started to put in Bill Belichick's, level. Some people have, pontificated that he may be better than Bill Belichick on these very airwaves, might I say. So for me, that conversation could have been done yesterday morning, because Patrick Mahomes in his prime, 6-6, heading into that game on Sunday Night Football, a pivotal must-win game at home against the Houston Texans, and he scores 10 points. No, I didn't really have any interest in doing Mahomes and Brady today, because I didn't. It's not there for me. He's not Brady. He needs to do it for another 10 years. And when I look at Patrick Mahomes, I don't see another 10 years left in him.
All right, and then another colleague, coworker is checking in, Pat Callanan, who's a P1, whereas one of our sales guys here says he's still plugging away, working, listening to you guys. So any other colleagues want to say that they're listening tonight, feel free to. I feel like I haven't been around in a while.
I haven't seen you, Joe.
It's been 15 days. Well, just so you know, I have to take all this vacation time or I lose it.
You use it or you lose it, Joe. That's what I've heard.
Listen, you're all, I used to be like you all back there. Skaz too. Skaz worked in construction and I worked in sales. So don't come at us about, you guys talk on the radio for a living. We know. But listen, we lose it. We either use it or we lose it. And you guys do too. Some of you guys can carry it over into the next year. Not us.
I don't want to lose it, Joe.
We need to take it. Trust me. And it's good to get away for a little bit. I feel refreshed. While I have you, Skaz, we'll do a little more Celtics in the next hour. But they've won 5 in a row, 10 of 12, and are third in the Eastern Conference. What has happened? What has changed? Was it Jaylen Brown calling everybody out? What has changed?
I think the Jaylen Brown thing is a very good, kind of jumping off point. I do think that was, some of the start of it. I've seen a lot of people, and this is a conversation I've had with you. I've had with, Jake Seymour, co-host of the Green Teamers podcast. Check out all his work on 985thesportshub.com. I've had this conversation with Jay Stu, where a lot of people, and I'm not saying they're wrong, think that it's them it was them trying to run a Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, kind of Derek White offense with Jaylen Brown being the centerpiece, and now they're running Jaylen Brown's offense. I don't think to me, that's not what's happened. To me, it's more Joe Mazzulla playing to his entire roster, to figuring out that there just aren't as many shooters on this team in general. You don't have, as I just mentioned, all those guys who can knock down threes at any point. That's not the roster they have now. And I know Minot's started to find his stroke a little bit, and Pritchard and White are starting to pick it up, but they're playing more to the construction of the entire roster, getting downhill more, less threes. They're still not getting to the free throw line. They average 15 free throw attempts their last 3 games, which is well below their dead last in the league average. So that's still a cause for concern there. But I think the way they're playing basketball is more moving. Jake had some great stuff on Derek White being assisted on his 3-point attempts. This sounds confusing. It's not. Derek White, in his career, every 3-pointer he's made, 80% of 3-pointers Derek White has made in his career were assisted on. So Derek White basically needs to be fed the ball to hit his threes. This year, before this past week, it was at 67%, I think Jake said, and now it's creeping up into the mid to high 70s. So they're figuring out that to get Derek White the ball, on the go, assist to Derek White. And I think that's obviously most of that is Jason Tatum is not here anymore, but the other part of that is that your 2 main scorers, Jaylen Brown and Peyton Pritchard, outside of Derek White, are not facilitators. Yep. That's not who they are. That's never been who they've been asked to be.
They've been doing more, though.
And now they're starting to do more. They're starting to play that style. So I think it's a lot of things. They had a completely new roster, and I know that's an excuse, whatever you want to say, but they had 8 new guys basically starting the season that were going to play pivotal roles for this team. They had some growing pains, and I think they're starting to figure it out.
I have a lot on this.
Yes.
We'll unpack it in the next hour. But there is someone I think that deserves credit that we haven't mentioned. So I would like to do that in the next hour. But the Celtics are on the table. We got Patriots-Bills. Who's the game on Sunday? Who's it more important to? And on the other side, the winter meetings, they're underway. Anything happening with the Red Sox? And I have to bring up the Baseball Hall of Fame because I have to. And I think they may have opened the door for another local person in baseball to make the Hall. We'll tell you who that is coming up next. I'm John. Both are one's full-time, one's part-time. One is a part of our daily lineup. And one is will always be associated with Joe Murray.
I'm going to guess Wallach or Beetle?
Nope.
Oh, man. Those are my top two choices there.
Who would be the other?
The Jeremy Conley?
No. Who's someone that will always be associated with me?
Fred? What am I missing here?
Dan Lifshatz.
Oh, yes.
Lifshatz listening. And Tim McCone is the other.
Oh, of course.
Tim McCone says, use it, baby. You use that time off, baby.
I mean, what are you going to do? Can't lose that.
So again, I love hearing from our colleagues because I never know who's listening, by the way. And I haven't been here because I'm trying to think over the holiday. So Thanksgiving, I was off Wednesday. Thursday was a holiday. Friday was a holiday. I was off Saturday. I think the Patriots played Sunday, or was it Monday that week? They played Monday. And then I was off Tuesday because I worked till 3 a.m. that day. And then last week, off Friday, I just haven't been here anymore because the Patriots' crazy schedule, and the next week it's another night game. Woof. Anyways, the winter meetings are ongoing. I did talk to Lou Maloney this morning, and he basically told me that he's not hearing anything because it was so early. Nothing's really started there. So he also mentioned he thinks Ketel Marte would be exactly what the Red Sox would need this offseason. I'm still not sure why Arizona would do that deal, but I think that's the guy they get if they miss out on somebody else. Now, the big news, the Red Sox are meeting with Pete Alonso tomorrow. I know a guy, John Alba, up in SNY, and he's basically been saying that he's as good as gone from the Mets. The two teams that are interested in Pete Alonso are Baltimore and Boston. The Red Sox are also linked to the first baseman from the Giants. But we'll talk to Chris Cotillo later on tonight from Mass Live. He's there. The other big announcement today is that Garrett Crochet and Roman Anthony will not play for Team USA. Huge. We talked about this, guys. I feel like we manifested this. Don't want them playing for them.
I wonder if this means that Whitlock is, though, because we didn't hear anything on Whitlock.
Oh, those were the two names. We didn't mention Roman Anthony. We mentioned Whitlock and Crochet. Hey, listen, you know what? If you had to lose one of them, it's Whitlock. Right? He's the odd man out. We're sending you to the Olympics. So that's a big win. We'll do more Red Sox later on in the show. Again, Chris Cotillo's going to join us. We'll talk to Doug Kyed coming up in a little bit as well. He's been breaking a bunch of news today regarding the Patriots. One final thing. The Major League Baseball Hall of Fame inducted Jeff Kent into the Hall of Fame. Skaz, I'm going to sum this up easily. The guy that everyone walked Barry Bonds to face is going to the Hall of Fame. Think about that for a second. How many times did people intentionally walk Barry Bonds to face who? Like, that's how much no one respected him. But yet he's going to the Hall of Fame. Now, this brings up, I'm going to localize this one with Jeff Kent. I'm going to localize it. What does this now mean for Dustin Pedroia? You knew I was going there, huh? Yeah, because it's funny because, again, I talked to Maloney this morning, and he said that this opens the door for other people, like Nomar Garcia-Parra and others who had great 7 or 8 year stretches. Nobody wants to hear this, but Pedroia won 2 World Series and had injuries. And in an era with Chase Utley and other guys like that, like, do I think Altuve probably gets in? I do. I'll bet you Chase Utley at some point gets in. I just wonder if it opens up that discussion at some point.
We have a little news, Joe.
Yeah, I know what it is, right? Because what did I talk about before the show today? What did I talk about before the show?
Do you think it's sounder worthy?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
This is breaking sports news, powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
The Colts are planning to bring potential Hall of Fame QB Phillip Rivers into their facility on Tuesday to work out. See if he'll join their practice squad. Daniel Jones' season is over. Riley Leonard played at Notre Dame and is the quarterback. Rivers may be an option. Guys, literally, as my witness, Skaz, Jake, where's Mark? What did I say earlier regarding the Colts?
Are they going to bring back Phillip Rivers?
I also mentioned Andrew Luck.
You did mention Andrew Luck.
I can't. No, this is the manifestation is real of the show. We manifest things and they happen. I am crazy. Don't get me wrong. I am a crazy man. I'm wild. I throw crazy takes all night and get paid for it. But now we're manifesting real life things. Off the air at about 5:53, I said, I wonder what Colts radio is like today. I wonder if they're trying to get Andrew Luck to come back, or maybe even Phillip Rivers. And what happens? What happens? The manifestation is real. Make that a promo. I'm crazy. Let's manifest. That summarizes the show, right?
Phillip Rivers is 44 years old.
How many kids?
I think he's got, he can almost start a full roster out there.
What were the names we talked about earlier? Tyler Heineke.
Taylor Heineke, C.J. Beathard.
Desmond Ritter.
Desmond Ritter.
Yeah, what was some of the other names?
Woolridge.
So all of those names. 44-year-old Phillip Rivers.
Kind of a good day for the old guys. Phillip Rivers, Jason Pierre-Paul's back with the Bucks.
Mr. 4th of July is back. Is that his nickname? Does he have a nickname on... He's got to be Mr. 4th of July. Come on.
His nickname on Football Reference is JPP.
Oh, I knew that. Phillip Rivers, 44-year-old quarterback with 50 kids, probably 11. That's how bad the quarterback is now in the league. You can't find anybody else. There's nobody else. That's what you're left with. All right, we'll hit the top of the hour headline here. Is there a blue... Well, I know Phil Perry got into that one. And also, what else is going on with the Patriots? There's a lot there. There's a lot of notes from over the weekend as well. We'll talk to Doug Kyed coming up in a bit. We'll pause 10 seconds for ID. Hit the headline. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz. Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Paisley Media Group Station.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Patriots prepare for the Bills this Sunday. Bills off a win over the Bengals this weekend. At practice today, Jared Wilson, Karius Tonga, and Brendan Schooler all back at practice. The Patriots and Ravens game next Sunday has been flexed to Sunday Night Football at 8 o'clock. Woof. We do have Monday Night Football tonight. Eagles and Chargers. It's a big one. 8:15 is the kickoff for that one. Waiting to see who's inactive, though. Looks like Justin Herbert's going to play with a bad hand. And at the baseball winter meetings, the Red Sox will meet with free agent pitcher Pete Alonso. And the Bruins, they play in St. Louis tomorrow night. David Pastrnak and Charlie McAvoy will make the trip. Headlines are brought to you by Celsius Energy Drinks. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. I'm Joe Murray.
This is what happens when analysts take over the games, take over the sport.
This is where you talk sports.
It happens all the time.
The Sports Hub.
Tonight, he just had left hand surgery, and he's just going to play. That's according to the NFL Network that I'm watching right now. Just reading some of the tweets here. Y'all thrive on negativity. The Pats went to Buffalo and won. At worst, they are equals with the Bills. Well, I just said who's the game more important for, and I said the Bills. Didn't mean that. I didn't think that was negative. I didn't know. Yeah, to me, I just thought it was a question. You know? The primetime games are killing me. I work the overnight shift and can only watch one quarter of football. I feel you, bro. Keith, working late, big boy. Get over it. Thanks. Ray, I'm not a coworker, but I'm listening. Thank you, Ray. I appreciate that. Hey, do they make you stay the full 3 hours for that postgame show, Joe? Geesh. Yes. I hope the Patriots get a ton of 4:30 games next year. Awesome. Marte is a jerk, I'll say. Bad for the clubhouse. His whole team hates him. That is true. Maybe that's why the Diamondbacks are trying to trade him. Be a hell of a second baseman, though. Bet on the Ravens. The NFL obviously has a plan. Whoa! So, the Buffalo Bills are favored this week for a reason, but next week it's moving to Sunday Night Football so the Ravens can win and spoil Drake May's MVP? Is that what you're telling me? Huh? I love a good conspiracy. I love that one. Anyways, your thoughts, 617-779-0985. And I just wanted to read this one because I saw it earlier today, and I've wondered about it. Is Drake May blueprint proof? This is why I wanted to bring up that I don't think it was a good weekend for the Patriots. If the season ended today, they get the Texans. I think the Texans would be a bad matchup for the Patriots offensive line and for Drake May. But Phil Perry says he's blueprint proof. He's kind of a blueprint proof kind of quarterback. Nobody's solved him yet. Maybe that will change when he sees division opponents for the second time this season. Maybe Buffalo. Maybe Sean McDermott has found something on film. You know, Drake May hasn't seen, and maybe Josh McDaniels hasn't prepared. Over the last 8 games, a span of nearly 2 months, May ranks among the league leaders in expected points added versus nearly every type of defensive front. If you want to blitz him, he's great. According to Sports Info Solutions, since week 6, so the last 2 months of football, he's 5th in EPA against the blitz. So you want to play coverage. You only want to rush 3 or 4, drop bodies into the secondary, and try to make it cloudy for him. He's 1st in EPA against those kinds of fronts. You want to play zone? He's 1st in EPA against zone since week 6. You want to play 2 high safety? He's 1st in EPA. You want to play single high safety looks? He's 1st in EPA. Like, what are the obvious answers to how to deal with Drake May? Does Buffalo have it this week? I think Bosa's gotten going a bit. I think they've been a little bit better defensively. Make no doubt about it, though. Drake May does he have the answers to the test? He's got the ability for it. There's no doubt. 3 of the Patriots' final 4 games are against divisional opponents they've already faced this season. Buffalo, Jets, Dolphins, who are somehow still alive. May might see some new wrinkles from those defensive coordinators, but he already seen them. Perry goes on to say May is yet to be flummoxed by anything he's seen over the last 2 months. You could argue he's still getting better. Talks about his IQ. And for him to grasp that he has the grasp that he has on the offense against opposing defenses that what they're trying to do, every single week he shows improvement in those areas. This is why he is the MVP of the league right now. I will say this, though. Teams have not been able to figure it out. If anything, the first 2 weeks they beat themselves. I don't think Drake May was playing the way that they wanted to. I still think it was a Josh McDaniels run offense, and I think they put training wheels on him. Since then, they've let him go out there, figure it out, and he's made the right reads. He's been awesome. I got to admit that one. 617-779-0985. We'll talk to Doug Kyed coming up in a bit. I know some people are hungry for some Red Sox talk. Why don't we start? Justin's in Lynn. Justin.
Hey, Joe, I have a message for you. The only problem with the Peter Alonso coming here is his agents, and we talked about this before. his agent is Scott Boras. Same thing as us Bregman when we left here. So I don't know if that will work. Joe, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, Justin, they've signed many of Scott Boras guys, even Bregman.
Yes, I know that, but I look at that and I don't see him coming here. Although I would like it, I just don't see him coming here.
Highest bidder, maybe Baltimore would offer more. I don't know. So guys, do you think that Scott Boras having multiple players, being the agent, for example, Bregman, Alonso, do you think that would curtail the Red Sox from making a move for one of them?
No.
Me either.
Yeah.
If anything, Boras and the Red Sox have a good relationship.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, as good of a relationship as you can have with Scott Boras. But yeah, I think if anything, I don't know. Don't you say to Boras, don't you want us to sign at least one of your guys? Like, I don't want to say it's leverage, but I don't view it as some massive negative. Like, it's baseball. Guess what? The best players are going to be represented by Scott Boras. Like, that's just the way it works.
You know what I would do is, hey man, we get the both of these guys. You get the old commission on that. Because if he only gets one, he misses a big commission, right? Could Scott? Oh, ready for this headlines, guys? Could Scott Boras be good for the Red Sox this winter? You know what, though? All this deferred money that's been going on lately, could they do it? Could Bregman be like, hey, man, give me 20 this year and we'll defer the rest? All right, done. But imagine them some money on that one. Like, what would it be? $300 million between the both of them? $350? It's a nice little commission check, wouldn't you say? John's in Foxborough. Hey, John.
Yeah, I was going to say, if trading Meyer for Marte is the thing, and we're allowed to, and we're going to re-sign Bregman, I'm completely fine with that. I don't think Meyer's the guy long term. He consistently gets hurt, and he might be half the bat what Marte is, even at his peak. But I mean, that's just speculating. But I just want to get your thoughts on
hey, John,
what could happen.
Do you think that Breslow would trade Meyer?
I think he might be warming up to it with all the recent stuff lately, with him getting hurt last year, especially if they can re-sign Bregman. I think if they sign Alonso and the plans to not re-sign Bregman, then it changes a little bit. But
I only bring that up, and appreciate the call, John. I only bring that up because, let's give Breslow some due. He's traded guys, but has he traded his guys? Right? Has he traded his draft picks and guys? Was Montgomery one of them? I think he might have been. But like trading Meyer would just be trading one of Chaim Bloom's guys. I just don't know if there's a move that he's done that's truly like painful for him. But hey, the talk today is Duran and Wilyer Abreu. Jaron Duran. Jeez. That guy. What are you going to do with him? I will say this. Marte or Duran, please. I just don't imagine those two on the same roster. With Casas? Woof. Woof. No. No.
This 1 minute ago from Tyler Milliken, the Red Sox and Diamondbacks have had trade talks centered on infielder Ketel Marte, but they're at the very early stages per Sean McAdam and Chris Cotillo.
What is a Ketel? Is it Ketel?
Ketel Marte, yeah.
He's good.
He's good, but he's also a guy who's had some issues with
sounds like a jerk.
With the media, maybe.
And his teammates.
His teammates basically told the media to just leave him alone, if the story I read was correct.
I don't know, so I shouldn't really speak on it.
Yeah, I can't say I'm all too tuned into Diamondbacks baseball.
It sounds like he's hard to work with. But maybe that's because he wants to get out of there. The only other thing about the Marte trade is, how do you feel about like your second baseman being the power hitter?
I don't love it. I don't love your second baseman being your offseason splash if you're the Boston Red Sox.
The Diamondbacks aren't intent. Okay, so I just saw this from Mass Live. We'll talk to Chris Cotillo in a bit. Did he write this? I'm trying to see who wrote this one. Sean McAdam, but they work together. Marte's 32. He's one of the best all-around second basemen in the game. He'll bring Pop to the lineup. 823 OPS. He's eclipsed 903 times in the last 7 seasons in OPS. The talks have included some exchanges of names by the two teams, with Arizona intent on acquiring controllable starting pitching. Who would that be? Bayo? Or are we talking Connolly early?
Yeah, I think it's more of the early Tolley mold than Bayo.
Because the Red Sox they are flush right now with plenty of starting pitching. I don't know how many of them are controllable. Marte's also due $101 million over 5 seasons. They would love that.
Yeah, that's nothing.
$17 million a season. Yeah, right. It'd be $46 million of his is deferred. Whoa. So it would lower the CBT. Ooh, they love that one. I mean, it's more controllable than Schwarber or Alonso, right? They're probably going to get over $30 million a year, even Bregman for that matter.
Isn't that kind of the fear, though, that they're just going to cop out for someone that is more affordable?
Definitely.
And they just have to give up assets and not money?
Yeah. The other one I saw was, remember Kyle Teal, who they traded? He's potentially on the market. Maybe they're fine at catcher at this point, but I saw that one in there as well. But the Marte, huh? Oh, man, that means that things won't. If they get Marte, they're out on everybody else. Could they get, you know what, those guys? They could get Marte and Alonso. It could happen. It just means you lose Bregman. And in that case, can you trade Marcelo Meyer? Is he involved in a Marte trade? You would think he'd have to be.
Sure, why
But
not?
they have a guy in waiting too, though. Just remember that. So if they bring in Meyer now needs to be a guy that, where's he going to play, right? So he might not be a big part of it. You would think he would be. Would that bring in Bo Bichette into the mix? Somehow, if you could get Marte and Alonso, you still need a third baseman. Could Meyer be that guy? Sure. Could Bo Bichette be that guy? Would they sign 2 free agent bats and trade for another? Man, that'd be a really good offseason. Now the hot stove is cooking. Now, let's get back to football. My brain is all wired up on Diamondbacks talk right now. Does anybody care about the Diamondbacks? That's why we haven't Marte. We only know so much about him. All we know is he's been a jerk, and we don't even know the guy. Hey, I know a guy. His name is Doug Kyed. It's breaking news regarding the Patriots, and we'll talk to him next here on 98.5 This.
Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Murray. We've got full shows again. We're back. We got Monday, Wednesday this week. Full shows. We've had so many Celtics and Bruins games anymore. I feel like I can't talk to anybody. It's just myself and Skaz working all the games all the time. And then we get into zombie mode. But we're back tonight. Joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, he of the Boston Herald. Was breaking news all day long today. His name's Doug Kyed. He joins us here on The Sports Hub. Doug, how are you, bud?
Joe, doing well. How are you doing?
Well, how are you doing? You've been breaking some news all day, whether it's been guys at practice or flexings of schedules. I guess we should start. Let's start here. What was the good news that the Patriots got at practice today?
Yeah, Jared Wilson back at practice. Brendan Schooler back at practice. Kyrus Tonga back at practice. He was limited, but lots of guys back there. You also saw Robert Spillane limited in practice, which isn't the greatest news, but no, I don't know. I don't personally have any concerns there just because he played last game, didn't have an injury designation afterwards. So, yeah, seems like they're starting to get some guys back.
That's good. Will Campbell, did you see him in the locker room today? What did you see there?
I did. He seemed to be walking around fine. When we first saw him, didn't have a sleeve or a brace or anything on his leg. Eventually, he put a sleeve on the right leg. But, I mean, he's on IR, so obviously he can't return until week 17. But certainly from looking at him in the locker room, obviously we don't see him running around or doing any drills or anything like that. I kind of forgot he was injured when I first saw him. So I think that was a good sign. Obviously, like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean that he could go out there and play football right now. But no brace, no cast, no sleeve when I first saw him seems like a good sign.
Do you usually see guys on the IR just walking around like that in the locker room?
It depends. It's more common this year, I would say. Like we've seen Milton Williams walking around this year. While he's been on IR, we've seen some other guys as well, but you never know. Like, is he walking around the locker room without a limp and without a sleeve for a reason, or do they not even think about it? You kind of have to look into some of those things, but yeah, if Bill Belichick was still running the show, I don't know if we see Will Campbell out there today or in the locker room today.
All right. Well, let's talk Patriots and Bills this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case you need this one, you heard it here on the Joe Murray Show. Mike Vrabel's 6-0 off the bye in his career, so that's very good. They'll be taking on the Bills this weekend, who've won 2 in a row. Offense is getting going, and I think their defense is making plays now. Which team do you think this game is more important to, the Patriots or the Bills?
That's a really good question. I mean, it's probably more important to the Bills. Just because if they lose this game, then they're not winning the division. Whereas if the Patriots lose this game and then they win out, then they can still win the division. So it's probably more important to the Bills, but it would be massive for this team and this franchise if the Patriots could beat the Bills again and come away with the AFC East title and potentially get that number 1 seed in a first-round bye. Obviously, I'm getting out ahead of myself a little bit there. But it's important for the Patriots, but more important for the Bills.
I agree. I only look at it as it's more important for the Bills because, look what's happening now, right? Patrick Mahomes looks like he may not be in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson might not be in the playoffs. He just beat Joe Burrow, right? Like, aren't all those guys the nemesis for Josh Allen? And now you're looking at it here, and it's Drake May and Bo Nix and, Trevor Lawrence there and Justin Herbert, C.J. Stroud, and an old Aaron Rodgers. Like, the best quarterback of the bunch. Let's be honest. We can make the debate if you want, Drake May, Josh Allen, but this would seem as good as any other year, or maybe one of the only years where that could ever happen for a guy like Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean, and you didn't even, I don't think you said, did you say Phillip Rivers in that list?
Oh, sorry, I missed that one. 44-year-old Phillip Rivers.
It's his birthday. 44-year-old grandfather, Phillip Rivers, could make a return to the Colts, so that would be fun. That would be the best story, by the way. Obviously, everyone here would be rooting for the Patriots, but the best story out of all of this would be if Phillip Rivers somehow came out of retirement to finally win a Super Bowl when he's 44 years old. But I digress. No, you make a really good point. This is the year for the Bills. This is the best year for them to do it. This Patriots team is probably still ascending next year and in the future. I'm not sure if they're totally ready to win a Super Bowl yet. But the Bills don't totally look like themselves either, obviously, this season. They're in much better shape than the Chiefs, but there's definitely some major flaws on that Bills team. But Josh Allen has shown the ability to will them to victory like he did on Sunday against the Bengals.
The Bills are favored in this one right now, -1.5. So just to give you a betting analysis on that, it was 8.5 to start the year, the look-ahead line. So when the season started, odds makers thought this spot here would be all Buffalo, right, late in the season, etc. So the line has moved literally 7 points in favor of the Patriots, and they're still not favorites. So I think Buffalo is getting going right now. McDermott really put some things on the line last week, especially on fourth down. They couldn't stop Joe Burrow on third down, by the way.
Right.
So I guess that's what I'm bringing up here is, Phil Perry wrote an article about what's the blueprint to stop Drake May. And if you look at it, whether it's zone, man, single safety, double safety, he's number one in EPA. So how does that defense this week control or stop a Drake May? And I'll say on the flip side, can the Patriots stop the run? Like, look, without Milton Williams, let's be honest. I know it's not out of control numbers, but it's gotten worse every single week now. Over 100 in the previous game. The trenches is really how I'm looking at both of these games.
Yeah, it's a huge loss to not have Milton Williams in this game for the Patriots, because even when Kairos Tonga was healthy before he suffered the chest injury, the Patriots' run defense still was just, they weren't as dynamic. They were giving up way too much space in the middle of the defense. So I think this could wind up being a really big James Cook game, it's wild how far the tables have turned for the Patriots, because early in the season, through the first half of the season, no running back could even get 50 yards against this team. And now we're looking at it as a pretty significant weakness until Milton Williams comes back. You throw in Josh Allen and what he can do with his legs. This is going to be a big game for the Bills' run defense, for the Bills' rushing attack. As far as how to stop Drake May, there really isn't a great answer right now, because that Bills defense, you'd like them to force turnovers against Drake May, or they'd probably like to force turnovers, but Drake May really doesn't turn the ball over at this point more than one time per game, if that. So I don't think you can really get him very flustered. If you can somehow get him to throw as inaccurate as he was in the first half of that Bengals game, maybe that's how you stop him. But that didn't really seem to be anything that the Bengals were doing, and really seemed more kind of like mechanically or in Drake May's head. So no, there's no real great answer on how to stop Drake May. But this Bills defense does have to continue to generate turnovers like they did against Joe Burrow.
All right, we're talking with Doug Kyed, he of the Boston Herald, joining us on 98.5 The Sports Hub. You mentioned James Cook. He's actually fumbled in his last two games. Fumbled on the goal line this week, where I think they got Josh Allen going again. He scored that long touchdown, had that big, was it a third down play to kind of end the game as well. But in the previous meeting, he had 15 carries for 49 yards. To me, that's just not enough. Do you think that they'll have a bigger game plan for James Cook this week, or do they stick to their tight ends who played well over the weekend? Dalton Kincaid, Knox, all those guys, they had a pretty good weekend, and I think their third tight end might have scored a touchdown. Do the Patriots have guys that can match up with tight ends?
Not really. I still look at that as a weakness for the Patriots defense as well, their ability to stop tight ends. Like when I do those kind of fantasy or whatever it is each week, prize picks or whatever, it's always pretty smart to pick the tight end to go over a certain amount of yardage, because the Patriots have had that as a weakness. They don't have great safeties to cover tight ends. Their linebackers aren't great in coverage against those players. So could certainly see the Bills tight ends going off in this game as well. But I think if I'm the Bills, I come out running and just, make the Patriots prove that they can stop the run, because they really haven't been able to do it since Milton Williams has been out. So I think this could be a big game for James Cook. And as good as the Patriots defense has been at times, and obviously they've kind of run hot and cold, they haven't been great recently at generating turnovers. So I do wonder if they could get a fumble out of James Cook and turn the game that way. But if I'm the Bills, I'm not that afraid of the Patriots defense generating turnovers right now.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what type of defense we'll see. Mike Vrabel did say something today, though, that they're preparing for this to be a championship game. It is really. If you look at it, I like that mindset from him going into it. I do. Do you have any concerns for the Patriots rest of the way outside of an injury to Drake May?
Yeah, I mean, there certainly if injuries continue to pile up, then it could be a problem. But I'm just really curious to see how they come out of this bye. Because as you mentioned before, Mike Vrabel 6-0 coming off the bye. But this is such a unique bye for this team to have so late in the season when they were rolling so well and it seemed like they had really built up so much momentum just to see if they can continue it. Seemed like they came out with high energy in practice today, but sometimes a bye can leave you well rested and have you ready for the rest of the season. But sometimes it can also kind of throw off what had been working and throws off your routine. So very curious to see if they can maintain the high level of play this week, coming off of such a unique bye.
If the season ended today, the Patriots would take on the Texans. Is there anyone that you see here? Because I know it's going to change every week. It's going to be, well, they need this, that. Is there a team that you think the Patriots wouldn't match up well with in the playoffs?
Texans are tough just because their defense is so good. I would worry probably more about the Texans than I would, let's say, like the Chargers, the Steelers, the Jaguars, even the Colts. Those teams don't scare me as much just because the Texans do have that one elite unit on their team. So I don't love that matchup. Denver's also obviously got a really good defense, but you're not going to see that, looks like it, in round one right now. But I don't know. I would, if I'm the Patriots, I'd probably prefer to skip the Texans in week one.
How do you think they'll play out the end of the season? Do these next two games truly matter? And what I mean by that is, let's just say they lose this week, right?
Right.
And they beat the Ravens. They basically, I think they clinched the AFC East, if that's the case. And really, now they're just battling for the number one seed, but the Broncos have a pretty tough schedule. Do you think there's any way that if they lock up the number one seed, they would rest guys rest of the way?
I wouldn't be shocked if that's something that happens in like week 18 situation where, yeah, you rest Drake May for a half or you rest because I feel like Mike Vrabel's been good about that in practices where, all right, you give Morgan Moses a rest, you give Harold Landry a rest, you give Robert Spillane a rest. So I think some of those guys who do have a lot of tread on the tires, you probably see them rest late in the season if they are able to lock up the number one seed. And then, yeah, maybe you do it with Drake May as well, just in order to, keep him on the field, keep him healthy. You don't want to, you want to mitigate any risks with your most valuable players. And even like Will Campbell, maybe you don't rush him back for week 18 if that's the situation.
All right, Doug, I've been having some fun with this one tonight. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Here we go.
So let's just have some fun.
Yep.
Our Street Team Joe, who works with us, he's really big into top fives, right? Like whenever we bring something up, he says top five. What would be your top five football movie athletes?
Oh, wow. Geez, on the spot, that is tough.
And you can always tweet it out if you need to think about it.
I know I might hold on,
but just I'll let you think about it for a second. But while we were talking today about this, we came up with athletes that we never saw play, but were considered great, like Bo Callahan, right?
Right.
Or like Al Bundy. I never saw him play, right? But we know about the myth of Al Bundy. But there's been a lot of them that, they talk a great game. But I had trouble with my linebacker. I had Alvin Mack, Icebox, and Bobby Boucher.
Oh.
And I think I went with Alvin Mack.
Interesting.
From the program.
Might go with Bobby Boucher on that one. But Rod Tidwell, I think he's up there.
Boom.
Right? Do real life athletes count? Because Boobie Miles would have to be up there.
We could put, all right, fine, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Jay Stu gave me Michael Orr earlier today.
Michael Orr, career didn't turn out that well, but you could throw him in there. It's tough. I don't know.
Who'd be your quarterback? You got a couple. Shane Falco.
Yeah.
You got Mox from Varsity Blues.
Yeah.
Paul Crew, longest yard.
I think I might go with Paul Crew.
Yeah.
Might go with Paul Crew. Any draft day representatives that you guys? Yeah, Vontae Mack, is he in there?
No, we didn't mention him.
Yeah.
What about Coach? If you had to put one together, I went with Coach Boone, Denzel Washington.
Yeah, Coach Boone. I think that's pretty high up there. I would probably say Coach Taylor if we can throw in a TV show.
That's right.
For Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights, absolutely.
But I know that's not really part of the equation here. But that to me is the best football entertainment is Friday Night Lights, the TV show.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking of other coaches like who would go, like Coach Kilmer. I don't know if he'd make the cut this time. I don't know if his style works anymore.
Yeah, that is true. What about Rick Moranis from Little Giants? What about Danny O'Shea?
That's a good one.
I mean, that was an underdog team.
It was the annexation of Puerto Rico. They put them play together, and it worked.
He's kind of like a Mike McDaniel type, I'd say.
I also brought up Caretaker, who played Chris Rock, played him. Longest Yard, and he's no longer with us, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, movie-wise. But anyways, maybe you could think about that. Maybe you'll have a team. I don't know. Maybe you guys could have fun at the Herald with that one. But
absolutely, no. That's I love that. I love tying in the movies here. Yeah.
Well, we met. Just so you know, I was talking to the guys off the air, and I go, "Hey, what do you think's going on Colts radio today? Do you think they're calling about Andrew Luck or Phillip Rivers?" And no lie, we did the breaking news sounder. I go, "You got to be kidding me!" So I feel like sometimes we manifest things and they really happen. So if this guy comes back at 44, like you mean to tell me the Taylor Heineke's, the Desmond Ritters of the world can't get a job, but you got to call 44-year-old Phillip Rivers?
I don't hate it though. Like Phillip Rivers probably has higher ceiling than those guys. Maybe Derek Carr. Like I think Nick Underhill threw that one out there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
help out. But I don't know. I mean, obviously no Patriots fan wants to hear it. But Phillip Rivers coming out of retirement to potentially win a Super Bowl, that would be an all timer for the NFL. It really would be.
Now I have people asking me about does LT count as at linebacker for any given Sunday, and it's like, how do I? He's worth $1 million. I know that, but what about Latimer from the program? Oh man, now we're going down a rabbit hole. See what I started?
What about Kurt Warner? I've never seen his movie, but Kurt Warner could qualify as well.
That is very true.
Yeah,
I was in the Arena League and was bagging groceries, and then won the MVP.
Who's the kicker from Ace Ventura? Is he your kicker?
Oh, Finkel?
Yeah.
See, Kathy Ireland could have been one because she was in Necessary Roughness, if you remember her. And then there was the guy from The Replacements there with the cigarette there.
Yes. Yep.
I forget his name, but he's like, I bet on everything. I bloody bet on everything. And then Shane Falco ran the ball in. Falco should be up there, though.
Yeah. Yep. Who's Keanu Reeves in Point Break? He was a quarterback too, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. What was Johnny Utah?
Johnny
was that his name?
Utah. Johnny Utah. Wow. This has gotten out of control now. He's like
a Heisman winner, I think.
Ooh, well, Joe Kane from the program was a Heisman candidate, but then, he tried to. Well, that didn't work out.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies, The Program. Still,
it's a good one. Very good one.
James Caan, Sonny, is literally the head coach of the team. I love that. All right, he's Doug Kyed. Doug's been breaking news all day. Go follow him over at the Herald. And did you know they obviously you know this because you broke the news, but the game got flexed next week.
It did. I'm actually flying into Baltimore on Sunday afternoon now, so kind of worked out for me.
Do you like crab cakes?
I do like crab cakes. I don't think I've ever had a soft shell crab though, so maybe I'll try that after I land.
I'm interested to know how that is.
Yeah.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Always freaks me out a little bit. I don't know if I trust eating the shell.
What about a lobster?
You're supposed to eat the shell.
What about lobster?
What?
You like lobster?
I like lobster.
Oh.
I will say,
go ahead.
With lobster, one of the worst, let's say, like calories per dollar that you can have of any meal.
Oh man, it's that butter too.
Yeah.
I go to the Lobster Pot in P-Town. You been to there?
Oh yeah, it's a good place.
You gotta obviously get a reservation there a little early, but
right, yeah.
Go there, get a little bit of taffy. You know what I mean? Go for walk it off. Pound lobster per calorie. I never thought about that.
I think the whole lobster is like 100 something calories, and you're paying like $400 for it.
Then the butter and then the bread.
Right, the butter does add to it, and whatever, like you get fries or coleslaw or whatever.
Yeah, I like to add the Ritz crackers to really, really get it in there.
A stuffed lobster.
And I love a lazy man's lobster. I don't want to break that up.
I was gonna say, if the next time I get lobster, I get a lobster roll all the time, but like I'm probably going with a lazy man's lobster, or some sort of stuffed lobster or something, because it really is too much work, too.
Nobody wants to work for it. Is it good enough to work for it?
Then you get all the green stuff in there, too. You can avoid that.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
All right. Well, this was some good crab, lobster, and Patriots talk here with Doug Kyed of the Herald. Go check out his work. Doug, appreciate the time, man. Good catching up.
Absolutely. Anytime, Joe.
You got it. He's Doug Kyed, everybody. Let's go to the headlines here because I'm late. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub. They always reach out to me and say, Joe, I want to bring my family. What do I do? And I know that Polar Park has winter in Whoville. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have Winter in Whoville presented by Bank of America happening at the park. And like you said, it's a light walkthrough. So we're not able to drive our cars, but you are able to walk the 360 loop around Polar Park and walk through all of the different lights that we have and we've set up.
So it's Whoville, just to get it right here, because of course Worcester and the Woo Sox here. But so basically, Polar Park is being transformed into basically a holiday wonderland. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. We have a bunch of lights and then different holiday activities. And I think the biggest one as well is we do have Santa. So Santa does make an appearance every day for folks to come and take photos and get the kids to hand them their list.
What's the Woo Sox mascot's name? Well, what is that? I met them over the summer there.
Yeah, we have a few of them. So we have Smiley Ball, Woofster, Roberto the Rocket, and Clara the Heart.
Ah, the Rocket, huh? That brings up. So I know you handle a lot of the events there. Friends of our show, Jared Carabas and Tyler Milliken. They work for Underdog, and they do the Section 10 podcast. Now, I may be mistaken, but are they also doing a winter event at Polar Park this year?
They are, yeah. On December 13th, they are coming and they have a ticket package that I believe is $30, includes entry into the event, a T-shirt, as well as the chance to meet them and mingle with them in our DCU club upstairs.
Okay, because I was going to say, if you got the mascot, the Rocket, well, now you get Jared Carabas, the Rocket. I feel like we need a nickname for Milliken. Maybe we could hook him up with the smiley face, right? Because wasn't that where the Worcester, that's where the smiley face was created, right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, see, I know my Worcester knowledge a little bit. We have another guy that Tim McCone, who works at our station as well. He's a big Worcester guy. But speaking of Worcester, Sarah, I love Polar Park. You guys have invited us. I've been a partner for years. I did a card show this summer. There was huge. Yeah. A bunch of people showed up. It was awesome. I had a great time. I think Polar Park's amazing. There's a ton to do in that area. That little market that's over there with all those food spots is amazing. But can you tell people why they should go out to Worcester and to Polar Park?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think our goal when, we moved here was to make sure that we have something running all the time, and it's not just baseball. So that's kind of my job and my team's job is to bring these fun events like Winter in Whoville so that there is something to do at the ballpark and a fun place for families to come all year round.
I'm in on that. I like that. I go to Worcester every year. I love Polar Park. It's a great time, a great little turnout, great baseball as well. Also, the delicious treats that you guys have as well. I've sampled all the food. I've had many of a good time. But this Whoville that you have, so it's a light display. You'll have like a little bit of a Christmas tree, Santa. People can probably send letters to Santa as well, and there'll be a kids area.
Oh, yeah, there's a big kids area. We have an interactive stomp pad. We have seesaws that light up that they can join. And we have a bunch of different activities, like you said. So we have arts and crafts. We have s'mores. We have cookie decorating. We have a letter to Santa station. And then you can also meet some characters along the way. We've had the Grinch be present a few of these days, as well as Mrs. Claus and some elves and some snow princesses.
I love that. I feel like I could smell gingerbread houses right now. I feel like I could just smell it through the microphone here. By the way, I love Polar Park. I love the place myself. It's a good ride. Everything in the area is great. Can you tell all our listeners how they can get tickets and where they can go?
Yeah, absolutely. So all information can be found at polarpark.com/Whoville. And tickets are $12 for kids and $18 for adults. They do go up the day of, so we do recommend buying online or with our box office beforehand. But pretty much all information for this event and all other Polar Park events is at polarpark.com.
Well, Sarah, I think we should get the Joe show. So it's myself, Skaz, he called you. We have Street Team Joe, who's back there as well, and one of our interns, Mark. Maybe we could put something together sometime, like a 98.5 late night show over at Polar Park. I don't want to put that anymore. I know you got a busy schedule, but I feel like that's something we should put on the calendar in 2026.
Yeah, love to chat about it for sure.
New Year's resolution. We're going to Polar Park. Skaz, we're going to Worcester, baby. I know you want to go. The password got traded. We're very upset about that. But the Red Sox will be making moves at the winter meetings. And, of course, Polar Park making moves. Go to polarpark.com. Check out their Wooville, all their Christmas lights. So all you guys, stop asking me where to go. Just go to polarpark.com/Wooville activities, and you'll see everything that they have there. And get your tickets because the day of, they go up. Sarah, appreciate you. Thank you for all the... And what was that Section 10 event that they're doing? Did you say December 13th?
Yep, Saturday, December 13th.
And they can go where again to get those tickets?
Polarpark.com/Wooville.
Woo! All right, Sarah Barlock, I appreciate you joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. And, well, we're bringing the holiday cheer to everybody here and appreciate everything you guys do for us as well.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much, Sarah. Wooville! In on that. That should be a lot of fun. I can't wait to check that out. We all love lights. Turn on the lights in here, baby. Bears and barrel don't barrel to see this. Hey, let's do a little in or out. Let's do that next here on 98.5 The Sports.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
More Joe Murray coming up.
twig. Kaboom. Yeah.
Hit somebody.
We've got a passion for Boston sports.
Get angry.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed.
Davis. And then the other one that she sent me was Faison Love. He was in The Replacements. He also was the guy who ran Santaville in Elf. Hey, that's a little off the beaten path, but you know what?
He's in Detroiters as well.
Detroit, that's right.
Yes. Very funny in that show.
Yeah, I just remember they flipped over Shane Falco's car. Or was it the picket line guys were all there and he just well, whatever. You know what happened to everybody. But remember he thought the corporate was after him because Elf turned everything into Santaland? Who did this? They're coming for us. Knee slapper. I don't know, that made me laugh. Anyways, what do we got tonight? In or out?
All right, Joe, a Monday night edition of In or Out. Let's start with some football. Big news over the weekend. College football, a lot going on. But the biggest story coming out of the weekend in college football is Notre Dame missed the playoff and has decided they are taking the ball and going home. They will not play in a bowl game. Joe Murray, are you in or out on Notre Dame skipping a bowl game after being left out of the playoff?
Out? You mean a Catholic school that is so proper and does everything the right way is taking their ball and going home, leaving all those kids who can't play their last game or be showcased in a bowl game? It's a highbrow, can't join a conference, doesn't make the playoffs because you can't beat Miami. And now you're taking your ball and going home? Oh, where are all you Irish fans out there? See, Rudy wouldn't have quit. I'm not a Rudy fan. I think Rudy sucks. But you know what? That would have been an opportunity for Rudy to play. And therefore, they have taken away an opportunity for all those other guys to play. Hey, Riley Leonard, didn't he kind of make his name known? I mean, he played over the weekend. They played in the college championship thing there. Out on Notre Dame, you losers. You crybabies. How about this? How about you join a division and stop blaming everybody else? By the way, you went to a national championship when you shouldn't, and you got your asses kicked. Now, I would love to go to Notre Dame and watch a game, but you guys are crybabies. Oh, so astute. Our program is so much better than everybody else's. Join a conference, you losers. Sorry. I keep going if you want, but we don't have enough time.
I enjoyed that, Joe. Yeah, I'm with you. Just going home, I think it's a bad look.
Oh, you know what else, too? I hope their coach leaves.
I heard Vrabel giving Marcus Freeman some praise. Right. Said he's tried to hire him numerous times during his coaching career. A big fan of Marcus Freeman. Joe.
By the way, who would they hire?
Oh, boy.
You need a real clean-cut guy there.
You think they bring Brian Kelly back or what?
Nope. That'd be funny, though. Coach O.
Oh, yeah, he'd fit right in at Notre Dame.
Him and the brothers, the father, like the priest. Oh, I'd love. Oh, yes. All right, let's move on.
All right, Joe, from college football to the big screen, Vin Diesel will star in and write a live-action Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie for Mattel. Diesel says the film will examine the role of competition in a world often measured by strength and dominance that dares to reveal the power of compassion at its core. Joe Murray, are you in or out for Vin Diesel starring and writing a live-action Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie?
Do you know his name isn't even Vin Diesel?
I could have guessed that.
His real name is Mark Sinclair Vincent.
Yeah, Vin Diesel works better. Mark Sinclair's not really. I don't know how many asses you're putting in seats with that one.
Give me a couple of movies outside of Fast and the Furious by him.
No. The Pacifier was a Vin Diesel
05.
movie. I don't know why I remember
Boiler Room was one that I watched in like 2000.
that. Never seen that one.
He was Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy, I guess.
A really extensive role for him there, yes.
Yeah. So now he's going to write. I'm out! I don't know, but he is like a musclehead, though, right? Like he like knows. I mean, his last name's Diesel.
The Iron Giant, a good movie that Vin Diesel was in.
Oh, was it good?
That's like it's a kid's movie, but that's a good movie. Joe says top 5.
Of course he does. I have mentioned Street Team Joe more than anybody of late in my life. Hey, well, you know, Street Team Joe said this. Oh, that was Street Team Joe's top 5. Guys, I sent it to him yesterday. I said, hey, what's your top 5 athletes? And he literally sent it to me in like minutes. I still haven't come up with my list yet. But I'm out on Vin Diesel's. See ya.
All right, Joe. We'll head to wrestling for this next one. John Cena, I believe this was via The Ringer, said his original plan was to do a full-year retirement tour. I wanted to do 220 dates, but they only needed me for 36 dates. Joe Murray, are you in or out on the WWE basically telling John Cena we only need you for 36 dates on your retirement tour?
I'm trying to save some money. They get that big WrestleMania in Saudi coming up. So they gotta come back. How do I...
Of course.
When Arsenio Hall was like... Oh, Semi was his name. And he told the sister that he was the prince. And that, you know, he had all the money in the world. And come to find out, he was lying. It was really Akeem, his brother, who was with her sister, and their dad owned McDowell's, which was a playoff of McDonald's. And then King Joffrey came and said, I'm looking for my son Akeem. Well, then they got married. Spoiler alert. Is it a spoiler if it's a 40-year-old movie?
No, I don't think so.
Did you know that Eddie Murphy played all the scenes in the barbershop? He was all the characters.
I think I did know that, yes.
Mm-hmm. Samuel L. Jackson was in that, too. He tried to rob the McDowell's. But Semi used the mop. Oh, was it Akeem? I can't remember now. No, it was Akeem. Love that movie. Did you ever see part 2?
I did not see part 2.
Wesley Snipes is in it. It was good, I think. What were we talking about again?
Who knows? Evil Stepsisters.
Next, in on the Evil Stepsisters.
All right, Joe. Chipotle is giving out free food every Saturday this month and offering a free entree on December 20th if you wear an ugly Christmas sweater to the store. Are you in or out?
Does my North Pole Beefs shirt work? Joe, I got to tell Street Team Joe. You know the story already, guys. There was a show years ago at the Wilbur Theater as part of 98.5 The Sports Up. And myself and Bird were going to do an activity on stage. And it was a Christmas party. So we went and ordered Christmas sweaters together. They didn't come on time. But then we got to wear them the next year, and we slung roast beefs with a slingshot into the stands. And, well, we might have hit a few people. I didn't really know.
Only on the Joe Murray Show.
Mm-hmm. Don't call and text about that, though. I saw it on TikTok. It must be true. Anything else?
Yes, Joe. We got some news coming out of the Olympics. The NHL reporters have been all over this. The Olympic-sized rinks are apparently going to be 2 to 4 feet smaller than the NHL rinks. And they're saying that the Olympic Arena in Milan is only scheduled to be completed on February 2nd. And the first women's game is scheduled for February 5th. Not a lot of time in between those two dates. Joe Murray, are you in or out on smaller ice at the Olympics?
Out. Let's just make it all even, bro. What are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? Right? Am I right or wrong?
I'm with you. How does this happen?
How does this happen?
Do your job, right?
Do your job.
And bomb.
That's right. Oh, someone just sent me the beef throwing. the Slingin' Beefs. I have it. Would you like me to send it to you guys?
Street Team Joe is very curious.
Oh, he's curious.
His interest is piqued.
All right. Well, speaking of interest peaked, there's a lot going on at the winter meetings. Let's talk to Chris Cotillo. He is there, I believe. So we'll talk to him next. Mass Live. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
All right, well, let's find out what's going on at the winter meetings. I reached out to Chris Cotillo earlier from Mass Live, and he said, let's do it. So joining us, sources on the ground, he's Chris Cotillo of Mass Live. Chris, how's everything going tonight, bud?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So what are you hearing? I've been watching you all day. I've been following you. So for the people who don't follow you, which they should, what are you hearing regarding the Red Sox on day one of the winter meetings?
Yeah, I mean, I think the search for a power bat continues. That's the goal. They set out to add rotation arms, and they did that in the way of Sonny Gray and Johan Oviedo, and now it's really about offense. And the good news for the Red Sox and Red Sox fans is that, all those guys are still available, from Schwarber to Bregman to Alonso, Bo Bichette, Ketel Marte, a guy they've talked to the Diamondbacks about trading for. Those are 5 guys who would help any lineup instantly and in a big way. They're all readily available. And I think the Red Sox are trying to pounce on one of them. The problem is the market hasn't moved at all. And it seems like that's all waiting on Kyle Schwarber's market. But to this point, nothing's moved. And it's a bunch of teams and agencies really feeling each other out at this point.
Hey, Chris, last year, Craig Breslow really went deep into the, I guess you could call it the free agent period, right? Signing Bregman so late. Do you think they want to avoid that and try to take care of some things earlier than maybe with the way they handled things a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, the way that transpired was, I think, waiting for him to come to their price, and that was on a short-term deal. Obviously, it was a very, high-value one, but I don't think they wanted to do 6-7 years for Alex Bregman back then. This time around, I think it's a little bit different. They need to kind of move the market, whether they go with Alonso or Schwarber or somebody like that. Bregman is going to be in the same boat looking for a long-term deal as he was a year ago. But, I think this is their clear number one priority in terms of a big name. If you consider Sonny Gray that's fair. Last year it was getting an ace. They did that with Crochet, and that allowed them to strike on the free agent market. So I don't think they're going to be aiming to wait it out. I think they'll aim to be more aggressive. At the same time, it takes 2 to tango. And, at a certain point, Schwarber and Alonso are not going to take offers from any team if they don't reach that certain threshold for. And to this point, obviously, nobody has reached that threshold. And it kind of remains to be seen if it'll happen this week. I think the Phillies are starting to get a little antsy with Kyle Schwarber, and they want an answer from him. That might move the market and move things along a little bit. Dave Dombrowski, maybe he wants to pivot and makes a big offer to someone else if he feels like, Schwarber is not coming back or whatever. So, this week always tends to kind of lead to action just because everybody's together. Everybody's drinking heavily here, too, so that also plays a role. Only half kidding on that. But I think, you're going to see a lot of posturing for a couple days, and then maybe the dam breaks. But there's also the specter of a lockout. For a year from now, I think that could play into it, too.
So the Red Sox have a lot going on right now. They have money to spend. They have prospects they can trade. They have outfielders, right, that they can move on from. They have a bounty of depth pitching as well. Is this the best spot the Red Sox have been in coming into winter meetings and free agency in a while?
Yeah, I mean, they are obviously, I think, just closer as an organization to where they want to be, and that's valuable, right? They don't have to dream on a potential playoff berth. They got there last year, and you can see, the core and these prospects that we've seen on prospect charts in Portland and Salem for years are now in the big leagues, right? You don't have to imagine what Roman Anthony can be in a Red Sox uniform. You saw it, and to a lesser extent, Meyer and Early and Tolley and some of these guys. And when you have that foundation of talent, and, call the Red Sox cheap for this, but every team wants it, cheap, controllable talent, it kind of clears paths for you to improve by spending up, via prospect, which they did on the Crochet deal, and again with Gray, with money like they did with Bregman a year ago, and giving, Crochet the extension they did. So, I think they are a couple players away from getting over the top and being able to be really a contender that gets into a playoff series that can do some damage. But at least they're not, a ton of pieces away. It feels like they're only a couple. And now it's really just about executing and kind of delivering on that so that, it's not just, all right, get back in the playoffs, but actually make some noise when you get there.
All right, we're talking with Chris Cotillo. He of Mass Live. He is at the winter meetings in Orlando. It sounds like the Red Sox are going. It's reported that the Red Sox will meet with Pete Alonso. Does it matter that they're the first team, or are they the first team, I guess? Where does that rank as far as importance for Alonso, and should Red Sox fans look into the fact that they're meeting early?
Yeah, I mean, we had heard as of this afternoon after John Heyman put that report out that they were possibly on his list for a meeting. So I think as of today, things had not been, 100% finalized on who he was going to meet with face-to-face. These things can be fluid. Obviously, if there's one team who's pushing very aggressively and they don't want him to leave that meeting without getting a deal done, that could shake things up. I don't think it's at that point, but who knows? Maybe they leaked the meetings list to light a fire under the Mets to get them to up their offer and get them back. There's a lot of motives to these things, obviously, especially here when things are flying quickly. But, obviously, a guy that fits them in terms of pop, in terms of right-handed bat, in terms of position of need, whether that be at first base or I think in a perfect world, DH. And so a guy that they're going to talk to for sure. I think maybe the more interesting development in that was in Heyman's report from the New York Post that the Orioles are also involved. The Orioles have not spent money under this new ownership, but this would be a good place to start. Maybe that was a scare tactic that for the Red Sox that a division rival could land this guy, or maybe they're, really involved. And if they are, that's a wild card team along with, you've heard about the Mets and Red Sox right along, like with Schwarber, right? The Reds and the Pirates are the wild card teams involved there in addition to the big spenders. And, when those teams enter the fray and they like their guy and they want to make a splash, sometimes that can get dangerous. And, it's not just the Red Sox making the offer and getting the guy to come. They have to compete with these other teams interested. And I think that gets overlooked a lot this time of year.
All right, talk to me about Ketel Marte. Clearly a good player, an all-star. I know he had an incident, around the All-Star break last year? He missed time. Let's just say this. The more I know about him is about the off-field stuff, although he's a great player. It would help the Red Sox, right? Because he's under control for the next couple of years, makes about $17 million. I think he has some deferred money in there as well. But why are the Red Sox looking at him, and could they acquire him and a big-time bat in free agency?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on kind of where their salary ceiling is. He's a guy that's on a big contract. He's not on a rookie deal, so to speak. He's a guy that would slot in at second, play it pretty well for them, and be a guy in the middle of the lineup that, can give you 30 home run potential. So I think he's a complete player compared to some of these other guys who are not in some ways. But, the price is going to be high in the way that you have to pay him, for the rest of the deal and give up some controllable pitching as well, whether it be a guy like Connolly early or a Hunter Dobbins or whoever it is. The price is going to be high here, and Arizona doesn't have to move him. They have him under control for a little while, and that's important to remember, too.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think you were aggregated. You know how that happens, right?
That's good. That means the business is booming.
Yes. I saw Red Sox have fielded calls on Hunter Dobbins and Cutter Crawford and Patrick Sandoval. I mean, look, geez, where did he come into the mix here?
That was a McAdams special. So
I love Sean. Tell him I said hello. And you guys did write a nice little article here on Mass Live, kind of updating everybody. But since we have you on the air here, do you think the Red Sox make a move? And where I'm going with it is this. There has been, I don't want to say promises, but Craig Breslow has said they need a front of the rotation guy and a bat. And I think they've been active. I actually like the moves they've made so far. With I just mentioned all the things that they have, right? But do you think they move on from an outfielder? And do you actually think they do bring in a big-time bat?
I think they will bring in a big-time bat. I would predict pretty strongly, because if they don't do this, then they should be borderline ashamed that they will get one of those five, whether it be Schwarber, Alonso, Bregman, Bichette, or Marte. I think that's, more likely than not to happen. I think the outfielder thing, it kind of depends on, who they add. If you're adding Schwarber, then you kind of do need to trade one of those guys. If you're adding Bregman back, you can, maybe move on from Yoshida and cycle through Rafaela, Abreu, Duran, and Anthony in the DH position. I don't think that they're, averse to that. I think they could do that. That was the plan last year at times. And you've seen time and time again that, attrition happens. They had way too many outfielders last year, right? And they still started Nate Eaton in a playoff game. So I think that kind of tells you a lot about, just how quickly this attrition can build up.
All right. Just final thing for me. Are the Red Sox bulking up? I've read so many reports about the training this offseason and becoming bigger. Even the pitchers have mentioned it as well. And they obviously have made a priority on defense. Outside of the players that we're hearing about, are the Red Sox looking to improve as far as their stamina, ability, playing deep into the season, and is it a focus this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some guys that, obviously health is the major question. And I think, that goes for Meyer, Costas, some of these other guys. To me, that's, improving from internal guys, I think is obviously huge every offseason. If they can get anything out of Costas, that's a bonus. I don't think it's time to give up on him. Meyer's obviously a key guy that has not been able to stay healthy for a full season, and Christian Campbell wasn't hurt, but he wasn't in the picture here. So I think that those are some things that, some guys that could be additions from within that obviously would be zero cost because they're already on the team. So, from those guys to Dobbins getting healthy in the rotation, Crawford and Sandoval, there's a lot of guys that just need to, be fully healthy and 100% and be themselves. And, that would be something that would be another way to clear a path to some of these bigger additions when you're getting, some of those upgrades from within.
All right, I lied. I have one more. Crochet and it looks like Roman Anthony will not play for Team USA.
Yep.
Does that mean that Garrett Whitlock will?
Garrett Whitlock is. He's committed for Team USA. I think there's probably some other guys that are going to do it. They're working that out. Most interesting of the bunch is Aroldis Chapman for Great Britain.
Whoa. Is Oviedo for Cuba at all? I actually don't know that.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Yoshida, you'd think, Rafaela. There's some other guys that are definitely in the mix, maybe Abreu. But if anybody dealt with injuries last year, it makes it less likely because they want to make sure they're rehabbing in Fort Myers, too.
Well, I'm glad that they gave you a credential. I'm glad that you're there. And
thank you.
You and McAdams are doing a great job. What do you going golfing during the day there? What else you got going on?
I played over the weekend, 100 shots at a time. So,
oh my God.
But now we're locked in work mode now.
Oh, well, they got a nice little brunch at the hotel. They got a nice little breakfast thing there going on.
We waited in line for a Caesar wrap, so that was a treat. That's about what we're doing at this point.
I love a hotel breakfast, man. Oh, just the juices that they offer. I love a hotel breakfast. I'm excited for you tomorrow morning.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll be thinking of you all morning.
Well, I appreciate that as you make your omelet in the morning. Chris, appreciate it. Hey, we expected fireworks, right? When you got on the plane, we were like, man, something's got to go down.
No, I've covered this team too long.
I love it, man. Hey, Chris, appreciate the time, man. Enjoy yourself, and tell McAdam I said what's up.
I will.
You
Sounds good. Thanks, Joe.
All right, he's Chris Cotillo, everybody. Go follow him and then aggregate him because that means that he's loving what's going on. The last time I talked to him, Street Team Joe, he was sitting outside of Buff's Pub.
Huge fan.
I was there over the weekend. I went by myself. Do you know that?
Joe, I'm in on going to bars by yourself.
Oh my God,
I love doing that.
So Did you
grab a drink too?
No, I went and saw Tommy DeVito. You know him; he plays for the Patriots. And then I went and I go, oh yeah, I'm near Buff's Pub. I gotta go. I got the mayor spot right up front. Perfect. Walked in, nobody sitting at the bar. I sat there. Guy goes, "What's up?" I go, "Hey, what's up, man?" I go, "What do you want?" I go, 10-piece buffalo, please. Just not like, can I get you a drink? No, just 10-piece buffalo. Sat down. They had a couple of football games on. Crushed a 10-piece. Crushed. And then some guy goes, "Hey, it's Joe Meyer." I go, "Hey, man, how you doing?" And I go, "Hey, if I wanted to get wings for the guys some night," he goes, "Just let us know. But you'd have to go pick it up."
I would do that 100%.
Okay, well, good to know. And then I got a buffalo wing meal to go.
What does that include?
It just includes French fries.
They got good fries there, Joe?
Great fries. Ooh. Speaking of fries, I've been working on this one with Mark, intern Mark.
Yeah, he has a list of over 200 French fry places.
I want you, not today, but I want you to cultivate and curate your top 5 French fries. And then I'm going to do it, and maybe Skaz can do it, and we'll just have a fun with it. How about that? All right. Let's go to break. Can I crap all over your Notre Dame again? You didn't like that, huh?
Well, Rudy's my top movie.
All right, Joe. Can you send us into break?
I will.
Right now. I want you to do it right now. I know everybody can't.
Essential Sports Hub.
with Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
But what he doesn't understand is that Wingstop has amazing ranch. I actually did an event with a station at a Wingstop, and I learned how they make their ranch. Dude, their ranch is unbelievable. No, for real, dude. You know, they have like better ranch than anything. Anyway, but that's what happened. The lemon pepper wings got me. I had them. I ate them. They were good.
We need to get Augusta's back in here.
Listen, I'm working on that. They reached out to me this weekend. I'm working on that. Because Mark's last day is coming up, and we gotta go out with a bang.
I need that heart attack sandwich.
Oh, jeez. What was that again?
It was a steak and cheese, and then it had like that gold fever sauce on it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something else in there, but yeah, I was down for the count after that. I was like, Joe, can you run the street team event? After that, I disappeared for a little while.
So, Joe, what do you think I should do about this? Like, for example, I went to an establishment and I ordered 2 blueberry muffins. And they gave me 2 corn muffins. Who eats a corn muffin?
Nobody, Joe.
Yeah, nobody.
I feel like it's a tough thing because you don't want to be, the guy who gets pushed around and you got to stand up for yourself, but then you also don't want to be that guy who's creating a scene, so you got to find the middle ground somewhere in there.
My thing is people remember me. Like if I walk in and I come back, hey, what's up, man? I can't yell at them. I'm not going to, but come on, blueberry muffin versus corn muffin, those 2 different things. But it's been happening to me a lot lately, and it's probably my fault because I think I'm too modest. I think people could actually do their jobs.
Did you accept the corn muffins, or did you let it be known that that's not the right order?
I accepted the corn muffin because
I
left and I was pissed.
Oh no. See, that one you got to stand up for yourself a little bit. I don't think a corn muffin's acceptable.
Now, Joe, where we don't have any problems like that. Do you want to share the story of our event at Zen, which will be back there again on the 20th of December for some sort of holiday party? But Joe had the street team car, Skaz. And I go, hey, man, I'm going to Lambert's. Like, when in Rome, we're going to Lambert's. And so Joe followed me in the 98.5 The Sports Hub wrapped vehicle from Walpole to Westwood. You saw everything, right? The whole strip of Route 1. That's the other side of Route 1. There's 2 Route 1s. And we pulled into the Lambert's parking lot. What happened the second we walked in?
I think I got to paint a picture for Skaz and intern Mark here, because this was a sight to behold for Joe, for me especially. So we walked in immediately to Lambert's, and the owner immediately comes up to us.
Nino.
Nino. Great guy. What does he do, Joe? He's giving us free fried chicken right off the bat.
Right off the bat at the a la carte, he goes, you got to try our fried chicken. It's made differently, and we've injected something in it. And we're like,
oh, they cooked
we
it.
We couldn't even say no.
Yeah,
he just handed it to us.
They cooked it in a good oil. It was something different about the oil.
How were the potato wedges?
And they were fantastic.
The potato wedges were fantastic.
Yeah.
The chicken was great. Remember, we were just talking, I had greasy hands and everything. He's just making stuff on a plate for us.
It was fantastic. Yeah, so the owner right away, and he gave us free hats. Too.
Got my hat.
The chicken was fantastic. The fries was fantastic. But anyways, we finish up like a 5-minute conversation, and Joe says to me like, "Oh, we're going to get calzones." So we passed the salad bar, and then we probably have 2 or 3 employees separately come up to us, be like, "Oh, hey, what up, Joe Murray?" Comes and gives him a handshake. Big fans. And then we get to the calzones. And while we're ordering the calzones, we probably have 2 or 3 additional people come up to us completely separately, being like, "Hey, I recognize that voice. You're Joe Murray." It's like, "Hey, is this Joe Murray? Hey, you're Joe Murray." And then to finish it all off, of course, after Joe and I get calzones, we did enter the sandwich line at the very end.
Yes.
And there was this beautiful woman being like, "Hey, are you Joe Murray?" And I was like, Joe is an A-list celebrity in Lambert's, and this is Joe, how many people came up to us? 7?
Listen,
7, 8?
From the area. So just, everyone knows me in that area. But shout out to Nino Lambert. Oh, what'd you think of the calzones?
The calzones were A+.
What'd you get?
The meatball one was fantastic. Yeah.
Did you dip it in the sauce?
Oh, I did dip it in the sauce.
Oh, I'm a dipper.
Yeah, the turkey one was really good too.
Yeah.
It was like a little much, you know.
They stuffed those sandwiches though on a braided roll.
How was the braided roll?
So the sandwich was incredible. I got the chicken parm calzone and the buffalo calzone.
Yeah,
this is the night. By the way, this is the night before Thanksgiving. So in between leftovers all weekend long, I was dipping into Lambert's at the same time.
I had a half-pound turkey sub right before Thanksgiving, just to open up. But Joe, I felt like I was a famous entourage. I was a part of your entourage.
You were like Turtle,
and I was like Turtle, and I was like, wow, this is how like the other half lives. This is crazy.
I will say this: I went up to Nino. I go, "Hey man, we got the 98.5 car outside. Do you want to take a photo with us?" And he goes, "No." I thought he wanted to do it. So shout out Nino anyways. I know birthdays today. Happy birthday to who's the quarterback that the Colts are? Phillip Rivers, 44. Yesterday was Larry Bird's birthday. I got nothing else today.
Joe, can I ask you a question about Larry Bird? And this can go to Skaz too. Should I be more upset that Larry Bird doesn't really come around anymore to, Celtics events? I love seeing KG Pierce, some of the old timers. Leon Poe's always there. Should I be a little sad that Larry doesn't want to return to the Garden?
Well, I would just start off by saying that it would have been great if the previous ownership didn't let him go to the Pacers. Maybe if that didn't, maybe he could have ran the Celtics instead of Rick Pitino.
Yeah, I mean, I have no issues with Larry not really coming around. It would be great, like you said, if he did come around more. Like I think Tatum said the first time he ever met him was at the All-Star game when it was in Indianapolis. So obviously not ideal, and not that this is exactly related, but I heard Terry Bradshaw say this weekend that he's never met Mike Tomlin before, and I thought that was absolutely wild.
For 20 years they've been.
That's what Terry Bradshaw said. So I take that for what it's worth. It's Terry Bradshaw. I kind of take him at his word, but the fact he's never met Mike Tomlin is insane. So I don't think it's quite that. Who knows why that's the case? But yeah, Larry's a very, kind of homebody kind of guy. Like he's not doing media tours or anything like that. He hates most people, which is why Boston loved him so much. So yeah, I don't really blame Larry for that at all. So I don't think we're going to see a ton of Brady when he's done broadcasting. Brady comes around now because he does the Card Vault events. But besides that, I don't think he's been around much. He wasn't at Bill's thing. He wasn't. So I will say that last year, Larry Bird, I was supposed to do an event with Dick's Sporting Goods. They had the big three. They had McHale, Bird, and Parrish. And from what I've heard, it's really hard to get the three of them together to do autograph events and stuff like that. Bird does autographed events. I just don't think he's much of a people person. Yes. I don't think he you could pay him a lot of money. I don't think he needs it. No. Right? He wants to hang out in French Lick. But he does, if you want to do a signing with New England Picture up at the Braintree Mall or whatever, you can send something out to them. He'll sign it and send it back to you. It's just the whole meet and greet thing I don't think is going to happen. Yeah. All right, we do have some birthdays today. Oh, what do we got? Quite a few. Greg Allman's birthday today. From Allman? Oh, wow, okay. Jim Morrison. Oh, whoa, there's two huge music stars. Sammy Davis Jr. 3. Kim Basinger. Oh, Kim Basinger. Oh, she was in the Tom Petty Last Dance with Mary Jane video. She's 72 years old, Joe. She was Eminem's mom, right? And I believe so. In 8 Mile? Sam Kinnison's birthday today. Oh, great comedian from the 80s. Jeff Tremaine. Okay. The producer of Jackass. Oh, yeah. Sinead O'Connor. Oh, another singer. Mike Mussina. Mike Mussina, Hall of Famer, right? The previously mentioned Phillip Rivers. Wow. Nicki Minaj. Wow, music today. Oh, did you see the Anaconda remake that they're making of the movie Anaconda? Oh, yes, with Paul Rudd and Jack Black, I believe. Jack Black and all that. It's a movie about the movie Anaconda. And I like that Nicki Minaj triggered that for you. And it makes perfect sense. Thank you. But I like that. Because she stole Sir Mix-a-Lot's song. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and called it Anaconda. And then rapped about it. And then Sir Mix-a-Lot probably made all the royalties. Probably. Which I'm happy for him. Because he likes big butts. He certainly does. He doesn't lie. No, never. Him and John
doesn't
Wallach.
deny. That's right.
We will end with Drew Doughty, Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
Raheem Sterling, Dwight Howard, and Brant Snedeker.
Dwight Howard really at the bottom of that list, huh?
Who's the most famous person there, Joe?
Jim Morrison's super famous. He died at 27 and he still lives on. Like, there's like a cult following for him. The Allman Brothers, though, man, that's a big one. Who's the most famous? I mean, Sinead O'Connell, not compared to them. Nicki Minaj is probably really, really famous. Who's the most famous on that list? Might be Nicki Minaj. The Allman Brothers is still going, though. Jim Morrison, that's a tough one. Make that a poll.
We did have some sad news today, Joe, in the wrestling world.
No.
Mr. Electricity, Steve Regal passed away, age 73 years old.
I'm very sad about this.
Were you familiar with Mr. Electricity?
Oh, yeah, of course. There was Steve Regal, and then there was William Regal, and sometimes I would get confused on the two of them. Yeah. Mr. Electricity. 73, huh?
Are we talking like NWA? Like where was he at?
Steve Regal, yeah, definitely, and AWA more than anything, I think. But he was like him and the Junkyard Dog and like George the Animal Steel and Tito Santana. That was early 80s, late 70s. Retired in 96. AWA World Light Heavyweight Champion. PWA Light. So he's always the light heavyweight, never the heavyweight. Anyways, well, thanks for the birthdays, guys, because I've been slacking on those lately. You know. Anyways, let's find out what's going on in this football game tonight. Do we know? I'll tell you right now in Sports Up Headlines.
From the Tell Your Type Studios, WBZ FM and HD1.
It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bert.
and you can tell. And he reminds me so much of Joe Montana, and because he's just unfazed by things, and that's my take. And you know what? He might never be a Joe Montana or a Tom Brady, and that's okay. But I'll tell you, he's fun to watch. So take care, and I really obviously enjoy listening to your show. Take care.
Thanks, Chris.
Bye.
Merry Christmas, buddy. Drake May does throw a good ball. That if there's anything I've ever heard about Drake May, his receivers always say that he throws a good ball. Meaning, like, they like the way the rotation comes out. They see it. Some guys throw too fast. Like Lamar, I don't know how some guys catch his passes. But if there's anything I've heard about Drake May, like Kayshon Boutte in particular, has always said that when the ball comes from Drake May, it's always kind of like a back shoulder, near a catchable zone for him, not an intercepted type pass. Even Stephon Diggs says he throws a really tight spiral. So, to Chris's point, he really does throw a great football.
He's got touch, Joe. He can throw a lot of different routes, a lot of different balls. It's, when he's throwing deep, he puts less on it and almost makes it like, I don't want to say it reminds me of Russell Wilson, but he makes it so catchable where they're running out, under the run.
Russell Wilson, I forget what they used to call it.
The moon ball.
Moon ball. Drake May, when he throws it, it's like he's holding an egg. Right? And it's so soft that like he's got the arm strength and ability, but it really is a soft catch, That's why if you ever notice, everything is like in the breadbasket. It's beautiful.
That throw to Kyle Williams.
It's great, and Kyle Williams made a nice play on that, too.
You think he's going to make an impact down the stretch, Joe, Kyle Williams?
I don't think so, because I don't depend on rookies, but Sony Michel helped them win a championship. Malcolm Mitchell helped them win, right? So this year, you might have to depend on rookies like Jared Wilson, or if Will Campbell comes back, right? What if something happens to Stephon Diggs, who's your next slot guy? Would you rather Kyle Williams or go back to Efton Chisholm? So it's like, I'd probably go to Pop Douglas is what I would do. There's a lot of options for the Pats. Like there's a lot of options here. Health will be a question. I think the next 2 weeks in particular, can they stop the run? That's my biggest thing. I just wanted to do this here in 2 minutes or so. Do you think Brad Stevens knew, moving on from Porzingis and Holiday and getting out of the deal with Cornette and letting Al Horford go? I hated it at the time. Do you think they got out of those deals and got out of all that money and it was the smart thing at the time? Because I didn't think so, personally. But in hindsight right now, doesn't it look genius, Cass?
That's what I was saying at the time, Joe. Not to pat myself on the back, but I remember saying that they almost had to do it because of Tatum's injury. And I know, people wanted them to bring Horford back, bring Holiday back. Even some people wanted Porzingis back, but it didn't make sense to me. And maybe you could even make the case that they should have, looking at the Eastern Conference right now, that they would be even more competitive. But I think they were kind of just pushing their issues down the line, and they would have had to, come to roost this next offseason. But now they've kind of reset that. They'll have money. They should be able to make, somewhat of a real deal, bringing a third player into this mix. With Tatum and Brown, whether that's packaging Simons and sending him out for a Zubac or waiting till the offseason and see what's out there. But there's no way they had any idea it was going to go this well, this quickly. And I don't want to, overreact and say that they're dominating the NBA or anything like that. But third in the Eastern Conference after Thanksgiving, we're a week into December at this point. That's nothing to sniff at for this roster and what they've accomplished over the last couple weeks. Yeah, in a 10-day stretch, they basically went from 10th to 3rd in the Eastern Conference. Jordan Walsh seems like a real hit. They found something there in that player. He's turned it around. He seems like a legit rotation piece in the NBA, potentially even a starter down the line. He's still one of the younger guys on the roster. So I want to give them all the credit in the world for, biting the bullet and doing what they did. But I also think it's a little double-sided in the fact that they do still need to spend money. This ownership group hasn't proven they're willing to do that yet. And there's also no way they envisioned this happening this soon.
There's no way. But Brad might have.
No.
You don't think he thought?
I believe in Brad. I trust Brad, all that. I'm not giving him that much credit. Maybe if they had two big men on the roster, I'd feel that way.
So I'm hearing Zubac.
Yeah.
Simons, I think, makes $28 million. Zubac is like 21. Like, I'm almost wondering because Tatum posted today. Did you see it?
He's coming back.
He on his Instagram posted soon with his crossed fingers.
You're on Celtics Twitter. You know Jake Eisenberg.
Yeah,
Eisenberg. Yeah. So he's all over that. Something he's been hot on the last few, and honestly all season, is Drew Smith is a guy for the Miami Heat who tore his Achilles, I believe, last December.
Mm-hmm.
He's played in every game this season. So there's kind of another benchmark of a younger guy coming back from a very similar injury and didn't have the surgery quite as quickly as Tatum, but had it relatively quickly in terms of an Achilles surgery. And he's been back this entire season, has played every game. So for the people that, want to keep pushing this down the road, Jason Tatum is coming back. I think it's February. I used to think it was March. I'm now on to February. But when Tatum is posting stuff like this, is it going to be January? I don't know. But Jason Tatum is coming back and will be an impactful piece on this basketball team this season.
And you guys all broke this all down on the Green Teamers podcast?
Oh, there was some green goo last night. Even Jake Seymour is starting to come around on this Celtics team.
I'll just say this. When you beat the Pistons, the Knicks, Toronto, 76ers, Magic, Cavaliers, Heat, etc., you're for real. I think the basketball season starts on Christmas. If they're in the tops, because they can win they play Milwaukee on, Thursday?
They play 3 games in the next 12 days. So they get some time off.
I think they're only going to get better. You know why? Early in the season, they couldn't practice, right? They were trying all sorts of lineups that wasn't working. When they actually had a couple of days off, they got to practice and they got better. I think they're only going to get better. But you know what else, guys? They got 8 guys. And they'll use Shireman and Ugo as the 2 9th and 10th guys. I think they're done with Chris Boucher. And Tillman, I think, is the back-to-back big.
Do you like the Chris Boucher tribute video up in Toronto?
I did not see that.
You didn't see that one?
No, I missed
What was better, that or Monty's tribute video?
I did not see Monty's either. So Chris Boucher got a video?
I believe that is true. Joe Mazzulla talked about a post-game.
What's the worst free agent signing that Brad has made?
Mike Muscala. Well, that was acquisition, I think, at the deadline.
That was acquisition.
Probably Chris Boucher.
God, does he suck?
I think those are Brad's 2 whiffs. Mike Muscala at the deadline didn't give you anything.
Well, they just wanted an extra big to
but
please
you got to get somebody. And then Chris Boucher would be probably Brad's only 2 blemishes, real blemishes.
Does Mazzulla get credit?
I think he does get credit in terms of figuring out the rotations. Putting Walsh and Minot out there at the same time is something we wanted to see, and it's worked. I also give the organization credit for Jordan Walsh. The NBA is not really a developmental league. The G League, for what it's supposed to be, is not really a developmental league. In that league, you're pretty much drafted and expected to contribute right away. Second-round picks are few and far between. The Draymond Greens of the world, Nikola Jokic, certainly a unicorn. Guys like that are very rare. So for the Celtics to find a player in Jordan Walsh who was super young, coming out of Arkansas, was defensive-minded, no real offensive game, super raw, and they stashed him in Maine. They developed him as a player, and now he fits into their system and does exactly what they want to do. So I think as an organization, if the Celtics, and they've kind of, with Sam Hauser, Keita a little bit, Rob Williams, being able to send guys to Maine and have them become legit NBA rotation players in a league where free agency and where your franchise is one of the most massive, allures, one of the most massive benefits you can have as a franchise. To have the bonus of a G League team that actually helps your NBA team sounds obvious, but it is unique and rare in that league. And I think the Celtics have done a really good job of making their G League an impact on their NBA franchise.
All right, we'll get into more of this on Wednesday. Maybe we'll get somebody on. B-Rob. If we get Greeny on, he's going to be green dust everywhere. Boogers, just green. But good for this. Hey, we got another team to watch. I'm excited. All right, we'll get the final headline of the night. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sport. All right, final hour of the Sports Hub brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit newenglandoilchange.com. You'll save 50% off an extra oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. Some guy doesn't like Street Team Joe. I don't understand it. On there, but I like Street Team Joe. Intern Mark says he's got a week to go, huh? How's it feel, dude? You're all right? You good? Got a week to go? All right, man. We'll get you in again. We'll let you give some takes before we let you go. A couple of things I just wanted to bring up before we get out of here tonight. Mike Vrabel talked about the Bills game being a championship week for them. An opportunity to win the only championship that we can, which would be the AFC East. That's our goal. That's the championship that we're focused on. So that from Mike Vrabel. And if you look at the NFL picture, Broncos 1, Patriots 2, Jags 3, Steelers 4, Bills 5, Chargers 6, who are winning right now at halftime. Texans 7, Colts 8, Ravens 9, Chiefs 10. It's going to be a race for the number 1 seed. Should be very interesting down the stretch how things turn out, but this week's game is definitely bigger for the Bills than it is for the Patriots, but Patriots have a chance to win it. Hat and T-shirt game this week. I'll be honest with you. I did not have the Patriots in the spot that they're currently in, which is fantastic. Shout out to our friends in our chat tonight. We love STJ. Hot Potato, someone wrote. Street Team Joe. Street Team Joe is good. So, Joe, you're getting a lot of love in our chat. Joe, get the corn muffins split and grilled. And tomorrow night, we have the Bruins, who are streaking, or at least one over the weekend against the Devils. They'll take on the Blues again tomorrow. Will they have David Pastrnak or Charlie McAvoy in the lineup? We'll find out. All right, guys, let's go home. Skaz, thank you. Street Team Joe, intern Mark from Curry. Appreciate y'all joining us. Appreciate everybody in our chat as well. We're back here tomorrow.